intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Boxingvoice.com. All the guys want, I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather. I was trying to fight every fighter. I sacrificed a lot
Dazn Productions
to get to where I got to.
What do you bring to the table?
Let's get this on. Let's do it.
Well, it's like this. Wait.
All right, that's it. Hold on. Bernard, everybody calm down.
Man, you know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all. I sacrificed a lot. Boxingvoice.com to get to where I got to. Boxingvoice.com.
Good morning, TBV, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another morning edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. We will be talking some boxing today for sure. Tim Bradley on Max on Boxing comes out and says that he just doesn't think Tyson Fury is all there. He doesn't believe that after that punch, Fury can perform at this level. He feels that punch took something from Fury, and that punch takes something from all of Wilder's opponents. We'll play the audio, we'll talk about it, we'll debate it, we'll take callers. The number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. So outside of our main topic, which is, again, Timothy Bradley feeling that first fight took something from Fury because Wilder takes something from all his opponents because of that right hand. So after that, we'll have Melissa Hernandez. It's a very strong rumor she'll be getting the Michaela Mayer fight first. I've been saying Alejandra Zamora all this time. It is not. It's Melissa Hernandez, who we will be having on the show. My bad. And we'll also have Ofacio Falcone Jr. or Falcon Jr. I guess I shouldn't say Falcone unless you're trying to say it in Spanish. I don't know. But Falcon Jr., he'll be on the show. Just had his pro debut, and we'll be talking some boxing with him and Melissa Hernandez as well. 9:30 is scheduled for Mr. Falcone Jr., up-and-coming prospect. Next fight should be on a top-ranked card. And sign a boxing lab management. And 1-0, good fighter. We'll talk a little bit to him, as well as Melissa Hernandez, who is heavily rumored to get that Michaela Mayer fight. My sources in the Mayer camp definitely are at least agreeing that that fight has been offered to them. So it's a matter of contracts being signed. But it looks like both people, or rather camps, are in camp already. Melissa and Michaela Mayer. Now, obviously, Mayer being the A side, you never know. They could always throw a curveball, and she's in there fighting someone else, and Melissa's out. But Melissa seems to be a very decent opponent, and I can't wait to get her on the show and talk to her. Some good experience, and I don't know, I maybe the most experienced fighter that Michaela Mayer has faced. But we'll ask Melissa that. But let's pull up this ESPN Max on Boxing and go through this audio with you. Where Max Kellerman and Timothy Bradley are discussing the Wilder Fury 2. And Bradley just giving you his thoughts on, not really knowing, could Fury still, be 100%, or is he still impacted from that first Wilder punch? So obviously we got to get through these commercials. So we'll mute that until the ad is done. No Mike this morning. I don't know. Maybe sleep still. Just waiting for him to connect. But a few more minutes, about 23 minutes before we get to Ofacio Falcon Jr. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll be having Melissa Hernandez. We got about 4 interviews scheduled later on tonight. Unified champion Daniel Roman. All right, here goes the audio. Let me put this on. Get about a half volume.
And Tyson Fury are fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world February 22nd.
Yes.
Who's going to win, Tim?
Who's going to win? Wait, I want to know your pick first, Max. Why don't you go first?
I think Tyson Fury is going to outbox Deontay. I'm not saying that they're going to...
Yo, Tim got so animated with that. Like, you go first, Max. But Max is picking Tyson Fury. Check this out, though. Listen to what he says, though.
Give him the decision. I think the smartest pick is probably Deontay by bad decision because we saw what happened.
So basically, he's saying that it's a strong possibility it's going to be another robbery. Deontay by bad decision means another robbery.
The first time, but I saw Tyson Fury get caught by a Deontay Wilder right hand. You know who gets up from that? No one ever, except Tyson Fury. He got up.
And that's what a lot of people are like banking on, that he got up. But I think I like Tim and where he's coming with it.
I thought he won the first fight, and that was off a long layoff. Hadn't fought a good fighter in a long time. I think Tyson Fury's better since then because he's active. I like him to outbox Deontay.
I don't know, better. Did the Schwartz and Wallin performance prove to us that he got better?
Let me start it like this. You remember a guy named Tito Trinidad?
Oh, yeah.
Tito Trinidad, when he hit guys, he did something to them. It ruined their careers.
Now, look, I'm a Wilder fan, so I would love to run with Tim, but has Wilder ruined anyone's career, right? Like, Bermain is still out here fighting. Now, I guess it all depends on, like, what do you mean by ruining the career? Like, are they ever going to win a world title? You know, maybe that means ruining the career. But he's not retiring people, right? Like, he ain't making, like, Bermain still out here fighting. Duhaupas still out here fighting. Brazil, Molina, Spielka. Like, so, yeah, they not the same in the sense that we probably don't think they'll win a world title, but did we ever think they would win a world title? So, I'm kind of on the fence here with Tim. Like, I am there. Like, yeah, you're going to lose something from a Wilder punch, and you might not be the same, but is it to that severity that he's trying to associate it with? Like, he's saying, oh, Tito Trinidad took something from these fighters, and he's about to list a few fighters and say that they never been the same. And again, that could be said for Wilder. Like, Bermain, he ain't never looked the same since that first Wilder. We don't know about Brazil. Spielka, I mean, did he get a win after that Wilder fight? I don't know. I will have to check. But I guess that's for the callers to debate.
Remember David Reed?
Mm-hmm.
You remember Joppy?
You're right. Never the same.
Exactly. Never the same. So I think there could be a little residue from the first fight with Wilder and Fury. I really do. I think that Fury is affected by that punch. He got up. He rose. I get it. I understand that.
My thing is, how does he know he's affected, right? Because we never seen anyone react to a Wilder punch in that manner. If anything, Fury looks like the one least affected. The one that got up, not discombobulated, not delirious, not, he definitely had his balance under his feet. He went through the whole sobriety test with Jack Reese. Like, did he really take something?
But, the way Wilder hits guys, man, he is the hardest puncher in the history of boxing.
I agree.
I believe honestly that it ruins guys. And, one indication was when the Otto Wallin fight. Otto Wallin hurt him several times in the fight.
I mean, okay, Otto Wallin hurt him several times, but is that accredited to Wilder, or is that just, Fury maybe taking a guy that no one knew, he probably didn't even know, not too seriously. So, again, as a Wilder fan, look, there's a lot to run with here, but then there's always that, how realistic does this sound?
He hurt him in the 12th and final round as well. With the looping left hand right over the top, he was buzzed.
But
he
Tim,
survived.
SS Cunningham dropped Tyson Fury.
And that's the truth, and that's why I thought that Fury didn't have a chin. I thought cruiserweight, moving up, first fight at heavyweight, drops Fury on his U.S. debut on NBC in front of 3 million people. I thought, you get hit by Wilder, you not getting up. But that proved to be wrong, and I don't know. Where are the facts to back this statement that Fury isn't the same?
And what happened? Tyson Fury got up and won by knockout. It's
Yeah,
not
but
like Tyson Fury hadn't been rocked before
He
the
ain't been
Deontay
rocked,
fight.
but he hadn't been rocked by Deontay Wilder.
And a lot of us say that, CYP, the right-hand man, the Stainless, the one-punch man. Everybody believes Wilder has a lot of power. Some, after the Ortiz second fight are even saying the hardest hitting man in all of boxing. But again, he ain't one punch retire nobody. So, this is just a lot of speculation. For all we know, Fury could be coming in there on his A game.
He ain't been rocked by Deontay Wilder, and that's why. And let me give you another reason why, Max. Let me give you another reason why. Did you see the competition that Tyson Fury has faced?
And that's something we've been saying, it's like the competition he faced, the competition Wilder faced. But again, we got to look at this from all angles. You could look at it like, wait, Wilder did face the tougher opposition, but that means that he's got more wear and tear. A lot of people had him losing 6 rounds of the Ortiz fight. Obviously, the Dominic Brazil fight was only 1 round, so, no harm, no foul there. But in the Luis Ortiz fight, he sustained 6 rounds where people thought he lost. Was that punishment? Did Fury receive more punishment in the Oda Waleem fight because of the eye? Tim believing that he got hurt multiple times in that fight? So, you're the judge, really, about who had the tougher schedule physically on their body, right? Because, yeah, we know that Wilder faced the tougher opposition, but did it help him? Or did it take something from him as well, physically being in there with better guys?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. These guys are unknown. They're undefeated. They're unknown, guys. But do you see the guys that Deontay Wilder faced? Luis Ortiz, way better than those guys. Okay.
And there you go. So way better than those guys, but that again, that means wear and tear. Ortiz was winning that fight.
Actually, the best fighter either one faced was Vladimir Klitschko, and Tyson Fury beat him for the title.
Yeah, but
isn't Max wrong that he says the best one either one faced? So we're not talking about AJ. So Wilder never faced Vlad unless they're bringing up sparring again.
That was years ago, Max.
So look, that's the audio. You've heard Bradley's opinion and how he's come to his conclusion that Fury's just not the same after being punched with that right hand. I don't necessarily believe that, man. I've never seen nobody react to the right hand the way that Fury did. Again, Gerald Washington got up ready to fall back over. Same thing with Stavern. Fury got up, bro, and passed that sobriety test with flying colors. Now, the count is a different thing. If you have an issue with the count, you think it was a long count, whatever. That's nothing to do with how he reacted after getting up. So, I don't know. His body language directly counters everything that Tim Bradley is saying, but, again, you guys be the judge. I'm going to get out to some callers. We got no co-hosts, nobody really to debate with. So we're going to talk to you guys and wait for our first guest in about another 13 minutes, Ofacio Falcon Jr. Let me head on out to the sponsors and then go to the callers.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
All right. I want to thank everybody to tune in. Everybody that is hitting that thumbs up button. We're going out to Boomerang in Seattle, Washington.
Mr. PBC, baby.
Boxingvoice.com.
I'm the flyest. Canelo talking about he believe he can win. Go to my kitchen, get the sharpest knife, and cut the bullshit out. I don't care what you do good. I do every fucking thing great.
Mr. PBC, baby.
Yo, what's good, TBV? Good morning, Ness.
What up, champ?
If you listening, Mike, good morning. I like this topic. I like the debate that's going on, but we're going to have to see, man, because we can go if factor all day. We can go, Tyson Fury is going to go in the inside fight if factor all the way, but you never know what's going to happen to the night of the fight. And I'm going for Deontay Wilder 100%. I mean, I don't feel like Tyson Fury can keep up with his word. He's never really been a man of his word, so I'm going with that 100%. I bet anybody 150 on there. I got Deontay Wilder.
But do you agree with Bradley that Tyson might not be the same after the fight, that first fight?
I kind of agree, yeah, just a little tiny bit. I believe that for it to be different needs a different ref, though, 100%. Tyson Fury's never been knocked down like that, though. I mean, when he got up, he had plenty of time to recovery from, like 20 minutes, 20 seconds to, so he's good. But Deontay Wilder's going to finish it. He always does when the rematch happens.
Well, all right. Dominic, man, thanks for calling in. Boomerang status. We're going out to Troy in Baltimore. Talk to me.
Hey, good morning. No, man. Usually knockout artists don't ruin fighters because they actually do fighters a justice by taking them out quick. What ruins fighters is grueling fights like Ward Gotti, Holyfield Bowl, fights that just drag on with two men just going at each other nonstop like that. If you're a knockout artist, you get it over quick. If that was the case, then a lot of fighters would be out of boxing. You know what I mean? So no, I mean, and it also depends on the fighter. Like you take Hector Camacho. People say he was ruined by Rosario because he felt that power and he went into a shell. Maybe that was just in his character all along. But no, with a guy like Fury, you can't ruin him with one punch. You have to beat him into the ground, throw holy water on him, and do a seance and all that. It doesn't happen that easy. If he was so easy, then he would have stayed down after the 12th round, because that was one hell of a punch he took, and he would have just stayed down, but he did not. So no, it's all to sell the fight, man. It's called wolf tickets. That's how you sell the fight.
All right, Troy, thanks for calling in. We're going to we got Steve on the Ringer in Chicago. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm just listening today.
All right, champ. Well, thanks for tuning in. We're going out to Sweden.
This is the only sport where you can kill a man and get paid for it at the same time. It's legal. So why not use my right to do so?
If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
If he dies, he dies.
Yo, what's up?
Good morning.
Yeah. So, what's the topic today?
Timothy Bradley believes that the right hand of Deontay Wilder possibly took something from Fury and he won't be the same. Plus, he believes that the level of opposition for Wilder was greater thus making him better prepared for the rematch where Fury, didn't have the level of opposition of Wilder and suffered what Tim says was hurt multiple times in the Oda-Valeen fight.
Yeah, I mean, he spoke some facts there, Tim. He was a bit more honest, I think, than he is sometimes. He is too animated for me, though. I really don't like. Even though I don't like him personally, he spoke some facts right there. Yeah, that's it. Was that's the only question?
Yeah, I mean, do you believe that Tyson lost something in the ring that day, or do you think that he'll be the same Tyson that we seen in the first fight in the second fight? Because again, according to Tim, he's not the same guy. He won't be the same guy, and he referred to Tito Trinidad. He said, look at Trinidad. He used to take something from fighters when he punched them.
I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see about that. They keep saying that he fights up to the level of his competition. I've never seen him in a rematch. I think he fought Derek Zora twice, but I mean,
He did.
yeah, and he stopped him in the second one. So I don't know, but this is another level right here. So we'll see how he manages with this one.
All right, champ.
Cut it.
All right, looking like we got New Jersey zone.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean.
Yeah. Yo, TBV in the morning. What's good, fellas?
What up, champ?
Oh, you solo today, Ness. That's right.
Dolo.
I get what Bradley was talking about when he says that a fighter loses something. But, remember, Bradley, my son's still bugging off he hit him. Remember the Benavidez, Terrence Crawford press conference?
Yeah.
So we know Tim can get a little overhyped, but I get his point. I mean, but the point is what we see in that, yeah, nobody's gotten up from them punches, but you can't hang. I mean, what Max is doing is giving somebody credit for taking an ass whipping. And despite the boxing technique, yeah, nobody gets up from Wilder, but you can't hinge the fight on he's going to be perfect and not get dropped. Plus the scar tissue. I've been saying it. Scar
Ignore
tissue.
that. You heard me? I said ignore that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, nah. The scar tissue. Listen, if whether it was a headbutt, an elbow, if Otto Wallen, who's that's Killer's homeboy from Sweden, right? If Otto Wallen put that much damage on him, once Wilder even opens that shit up in this, now I'm psychic. In the second round, Wilder will open up that cut. Fury's going to panic. Like, what the fuck are we even talking about, man? And I think that's why they're giving us this hype in little pieces, because everybody's leaving that out. Wilder hits that fucking eye flush and it opens up. We got a panicky-ass Fury, and he's either going to be the greatest boxer that ever lived to survive both the cut and the fucking Wilder right hand, or he's going to get his ass kicked, man.
Cut it.
I mean, thanks for calling in. We going out to Jonathan. Talk to me on Skype.
Yeah, Ness. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. Good morning.
Cool. Yeah, so what I wanted to say was that, first of all, when Wilder knocked Fury down, the main knockdown was in the 12th round, and Wilder was already tired. So I don't believe Wilder even got all the power he could into Fury. So I think Fury, if you look after what happened, Fury was still full of energy at the 12th round. Wilder was gassed out. If that same punch had landed in the first round, I think Fury would have been put out. My second point, actually, what I wanted to say was Dazn. Dazn went the first fight, didn't get knocked down officially. And look what happened in the second fight. I think that's what's going to happen with Fury as well. Dazn was taking all of Wilder's punches, eating them up, and then second fight was put straight to sleep. And one more point I wanted to make, Nez, is that yesterday, I heard you say you read a review from iTunes about Mike. And I just want to say whoever put that review up is an idiot, because Mike is the best co-host you've ever had. That's me.
I agree, brother. I agree. And that's what I said. Thanks for calling in. And we're going to get out to Mr. 704. 704, talk to us.
Yo, what's up, champion?
What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
10-4. Hey, man. Hey, good shit that you talking about. Appreciate you, brother. I got Mike. I know he's sleeping in today. You know, I guess we'll see him later. But this guy Tyson Fury, you know what I'm saying? Something's already wrong with this dude, obviously, because he said he got mental problems, whatever. He might have lost something, but that wilder punch might have woke up some membranes in his head. You know what I mean? Though? So I mean, like with crazy people, you never know how they're gonna come. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Timothy Bradley, we already know how this guy. He's begging you. You know, theatrical. You know what I'm saying? Funny games. But Tyson Fury, I'm sure he lost something, but he would never know because something's wrong with this man mentally anyway. You know, and that actually I think it helped him out, champ. You know.
I hear you, champ. Well, thanks for calling in, Mr. 704. We going out to Majid, Florida. So, just listening, Majid. All right. We got Tim. Talk to me.
Yo, what's up?
How are you?
I'm okay. I've been up all night. I was a little sad about Kobe. But Tim Bradley, everything he says I take it with a grain of salt. I want to be the only Tim for the hood, you know what I mean? But you know what? I think that basically it did take something out of him a little bit, you know what I mean? It always does. But I think that it's if you're just gonna write him off, you can't just write him off. He's done something when he was away, he beat a couple people. He went to the WWE and beat Braun Strowman. No, but you know what I'm saying, though? He's got something under his belt, and he's ready to come back. And he's going to be looking out for that right hand. He's not going to be he's going to be weary of it, But, so, yeah, it did take something out of him, but, it's still going to be a good fight, in my opinion. That's it.
Tim, thanks for calling in.
Boxingvoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the body punching? I was hitting him with body punching. I heard him, actually, he was crying in there. You were saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on?
Boxingvoice.com.
So you knew you had him by that time? Absolutely, but I knew he was tough and taking those punches.
Beyonce Productions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as we have our first guest on the line right now. We have Ofacio Falcon Jr. From Florida, but I really want to get to know his story. I see a lot of New York posts. I got a New York number. So Mr. Ofacio Falcon Jr., how are you? Good morning. First and foremost, thank you for taking out the time to come on a program, talk a little boxing with the Boxing Voice, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. Good morning, brothers. I'm actually originally from the Bronx. I'm born and raised in the Bronx. My family was from Ponce in Puerto Rico, so I'm Puerto Rican.
Okay. I thought you were half Puerto Rican, half Dominican. All Puerto Rican then. All right.
Yeah, they're both.
Oh, so you are both?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so who's Dominican, your father or your mom? Because I swear, Ofacio sounds like a grandfather's, an old Dominican grandfather's last name. I'm Dominican, and Ofacio sounds like something from back in the patio.
My mother's Dominican, my father's Puerto Rican.
Nice. Well, shout out to your mom. I'm Dominican myself. Obviously, you know, I got my eye on you. I know boxing, box lab management, and I know Uneski Gonzalez and a few other guys they have. I've been keeping my eye on you and watching what's going on. I know you had your pro debut. I got to watch your highlights,
Yes, sir.
and you know, I wanted to get you on, man. If you can, just tell everybody your story. I think it's a pretty interesting one, how you got into boxing, or should I say how you got yourself into boxing.
Okay, well, so how it all started was I was young. I was about 7 years old, and my father was a amateur boxer at the time. He was fighting in the Golden Gloves, and I always was intrigued by his performances. Every time he fought, I used to love it. My mother used to bring me to all of his fights, and then over time, I always wanted to fight, but my parents never took me serious. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, as a kid, your parents never wanted you to actually get into a fight or to learn how to fight. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted to keep me away from that for a while, but I've been asking for years. So I basically started competition and actually competing and training at the age of 14, 13 years old. And I had my first amateur fight at 14 years old. And from there on, I had about 86 plus amateur fights. I had only, out of those fights, 16 losses. And I had a lot of experience. I enjoyed the amateurs, honestly. I've been to Denmark, Sweden, in Europe. I've been to plenty of places.
Wow, impressive, man. So you had to do some convincing. Your father was an amateur boxer himself, and that's kind of what gave you your love of the sport. But you had to convince him to let you box?
Well, something like that. Well, how it happened was I used to fight a lot in the street, like in school and stuff, you know? Like, I used to be like you look at me, you're picking on me, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? I was that type of kid. So it basically came to a point where there was like, you know, I think he should start boxing and stay away from that fighting stuff outside. Maybe that will lure him away so he can be a better kid. And that ended up being, so my father brought me to the gym one day, and so the first gym I ever went to was Worldwide Boxing Gym. It's now closed. And when I went over there, my father put me against a kid who actually had experience already. He already had amateur fights and everything, and I had no experience at all. He just put me in there for discipline. And I ended up sparring the kid and doing actually great. And they told him I was a natural, and they wanted me to continue fighting. So from there on, I just kept on.
So let me ask you, they threw you in there with this guy who had more experience than you. Looking back at that, would you do that to someone that wants to get in the sport? Do you think that's the best way to see if they really have it? It's kind of like that mama bird throwing the bird out the nest. You either fly or you die. So do you think that's the best strategy, or can you see someone maybe being nurtured and when they go in the gym, don't just automatically get thrown in there for sparring?
I mean, I feel like in a way, if you spar off the back, and like off the back without knowing anything, you get in there, it shows a lot of heart. And that takes and if a fighter doesn't have a heart, you know, from what I've heard, they don't last that long. I feel like heart is a very big thing in boxing. And if you don't have heart, I feel like you wouldn't go anywhere. So I feel like that first sparring session with no experience and fighting someone who has more experience than you would get you. And if you come back the next day, basically saying like if you was to get beat up the day before and then come back the next day in sparring sessions, I feel like that would show that you have heart and show that you want it more than a regular person who just comes to the gym every day just to training because they're not really, you know, getting that actual boxing experience, what boxing is all about. You know, they're getting punched to getting hit and hitting back. So I feel like in a way that is the best way, but also in the opposite occasion, I feel like another better way would be just to start off the regular way, learning the fundamentals, the jabs, the right hands, the footwork, and starting from there. So just honestly, I'm on both sides. I'm indecisive.
But that particular session for you was, I guess, the moment where you knew you were a natural?
Yes. The moment I knew I was a natural.
And why would you say that? What exactly happened that made you think you were a natural or feel that, you know, this is what you were meant to be doing?
Well, the kid had plenty of amateur experience, and I had zero. So during that sparring session, I actually broke his nose and made him bleed from his nose. And That usually doesn't happen from a let's say a person is just coming off of no experience as an amateur or just boxing period to a person who actually has experience in the amateur ring. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like that and just the way I was moving and I was behind my jab. I was using my left hand a lot because I'm an orthodox. So I was using my jab a lot. So they just told me I was a natural, the way I was moving and the confidence I had in the ring.
Nice, nice. Now I see that you have a relationship with Josue Vargas. We've had him on the show multiple times. Top ranked fighter, just won an I believe like an interim title. What's your relationship with Josue?
I grew up with him, as a matter of fact. When I first started boxing, he was going to a Willis Avenue boxing gym, and when Worldwide did close, I was moving from Willis Avenue and John's boxing gym, so I was going back and forth to those two gyms. And Josue, one day he was sparring there, and I met him and his father, and my father met him and his father. And, yeah, we just became friends ever since then.
Now, I seen that in one of your comments, he told you, like, I told you was a 135-pounder. But I seen your weigh-in. I seen an interview where you said
he meant...
Go ahead.
He meant 126.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I think you could go lower too, because if you walk around at 139, you should not be fighting at 135. Like, I know these first couple of fights, you know, they're not world beaters, so maybe you can handle it. But, yeah, you definitely want to at least suck down 10 pounds, you know, before your fight. Like, you know, you want to be at least 126. It would be good to get a title at 126, 130, then come back up to 135. But... tell us who you've been in the ring with in sparring. Obviously, I'm going to assume you've been in there with Mr. Vargas, who is worldwide and known for putting his sparring on the internet. So who have you shared the ring with?
I've been in there with plenty of people. I've been in there with Yusuf Kinga, Duke Mecca. I've been in there with Devin Haney. I've been in there with Josue Vargas. I've been in there with plenty of great fighters, like young great fighters right now.
Wow, Devin Haney. We gotta ask about Devin Haney, because you know that's another guy that loves to put his sparring footage out there, and he loves to, you know, basically his sparring is, he makes sure that he's not losing his sparring is all I can say. So how did those sessions go?
That sparring session was a great spot. I sparred him back in 2017. I was an amateur. He just began his professional career. I had about 40. I was like 40 fights in at the time in 2017, and yeah, I had great work, man. We did 6 rounds that day, and it was just excellent work. That was great.
6 rounds straight you did with Haney.
Yes.
Nice. And how did you link up? How did that come about? Because you know that's a world class fighter. It's not easy to get into those type of camps.
There's this guy in my gym. His name is Billy. And he used to train, well, from what he told us, he used to train Devin Haney when he was younger. So Devin Haney, he told me that he's able to, because I always wanted that sparring. I feel like I love sparring only because I feel like in sparring you get a lot better, especially throughout the experience that you're gaining with an experienced fighter, another experienced fighter. So I always told him, like, yo, if you really do know this guy, I would love to spar him, because besides him, I was sparring other professionals. Like the people I name, also Richard Comey and them, and just to spar him would be another experience for me. You know, I was getting better and better every single time, so I feel like if I spar him, I'll get a lot better. So he brought him to the gym one day, and that's how that came apart.
So when you say he brought him to the gym, in Florida or in the BX?
That was in the Bronx.
And now you guys relocated to Florida?
No, I'm still in the Bronx.
Okay.
New York.
All right. So no wonder. So you got some work with.
Go
ahead.
And back to the I fought at 130 in my professional my pro debut.
Okay. I watched an interview.
The guy I fought,
I watched an interview before your fight.
At 130.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I watched an interview before your fight when you said you were gonna fight at 135.
Yeah, I was thinking about fighting at 135, but my coach, my trainer, who's also my father, Foster Falcon Sr., and my managers, they told me that they think the best decision would be either 126 or 130. So for my pro debut, they just decided, we all made a decision to fight at just 130 at the beginning to see if I can make 126, and I ended up coming in at 129.8. And my opponent actually came in at 134. So which is why I said, like, I'm basically fighting 135 because the guy came in at 134.
All right, all right. So talk to me about getting in there with Richard Coleman. That's a lot of good experience that you've been getting.
That guy's a strong dude, a very, very, very strong dude. He has, I feel like his power is natural. I did great. He did great. It was great sparring that day. I did, I think, 4 rounds with him, and then I started with Duke Mecca that day.
Okay. Edward Belanga is how heavy? Or heavier than you?
Edward Belanga?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's way heavier than me. That guy, I think he's 160, if I'm not mistaken, 154, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but I know he's around there.
Yeah, no, because I know he's in that same gym, so I didn't know if you had the opportunity to meet him or not.
No, yeah, I met him. I met him plenty of times. He's been around me and Josue since I was young.
Okay. So I hear there may be a top-ranked connection with you. What's the word? I believe your next fight may be on a top-ranked card?
Yeah, I'm in a top-ranked card. I'm fighting on February 21st on Telemundo. And that is a top-ranked card. And hopefully we're looking to get signed by Top Rank. God willing, man.
Nice,
After
nice.
this fight.
So have you won any national titles as an amateur?
As an amateur, I've won 2 nationals, and then I started fighting more international fights, like in Europe. I've been fighting a lot of ring size. I fought in the Ring Masters in New York City. I've won the Junior Olympics plenty of times in New York City. I've won the Junior Metros, the New York Metros, the Pure B Boxing. I won plenty of tournaments, a bunch of tournaments, actually.
Now, is Top Rank your first choice? Or do you have other, promoters that you wouldn't mind working with if, Top Rank doesn't pick you up and if they were your first choice?
Top Rank is our first choice. That's where we're looking to forward to getting signed to. That's our main goal right there. But if for some reason it doesn't work out that way, between my managers and I, we'll just figure out what's the next best thing. But as of right now, Top Rank's the only thing in our eyes right now.
Nice, man. So obviously you got this date, you got the card. How is training camp going?
I'm already prepared, honestly, because since my last fight, I was supposed to fight on the Gervonta Davis. I think he fought Nunes, his last fight on the 28th of December.
28th of December, he fought Gamboa. He fought Gamboa.
Yeah, Gamboa. I was supposed to fight on that undercard, so I stood prepared for that fight, and it ended up falling through. So they pushed it back to February 21st on the Top Rank card. I was already in shape and prepared since then, so I'm still prepared now. I can fight now, if anything. I always stay ready, honestly.
Now, that's strange. You were going to be on a Gervonta Davis card in Atlanta, which is PBC, and now you're going to be on a Top Rank card. You working with everybody. You got a good team behind you.
Listen, man, my team is great. My managers are great. Shout out to Box Lab Management, man. They're great, man. They're doing me great right now.
So what's the plan for 2020? Obviously, on your Instagram, you have 2020 is my year. The takeover begins. And are you getting the takeover from Teofimo? He's another New Yorker, or trains in New York every now and again, especially with Joey Camacho. But talk to me about your 2020 takeover.
Listen, about Teofimo, that guy, I was at his fight when he fought Richard Comey, and just seeing the IBF belt and everything, that became an inspiration to me. Excuse me. And with seeing that, my goal is to get a world title, man. To capture as many world titles as I possibly can, but not in 2020. In 2020, my goal is just to begin like I already began it, but just to continue winning my professional fights and just to build up my record to become more of a, instead of just an irregular opponent or just the A side or B side, I want to become a contender, and then from there on, 2021, 2022, it's straight for world titles or whatever. No, as a matter in 2022 most likely, but in 2020 this is just a build up. I want to show everybody who Foster Falcon Jr. is. I want to show everybody what's coming and what's the next Puerto Rican star is.
And have you had an opportunity to sit down with Bob Arum? Have you met him yet? And has he, what has he said to you?
No, not Bob Arum. I've never met Bob Arum, but I would love to meet him. I heard he's a very great guy. I've met a guy named Brad.
Yes.
I've sat down and spoken to him. I've sat down and spoken with Brad, and he told me basically saying that on the 21st, that should be my day, God willing.
Well, man, it seems like that's going to be the day that everyone has their eyes on you. And obviously your contract with Top Rank depends on it. You want to look your best to make sure they give you what you want. How do you keep that pressure off of you and perform to your highest ability on fight night?
I just remain calm. I focus. I take one day at a time. I don't like overthinking things. I just make sure I do what I have to do outside the ring. So when I get inside the ring, I'm perfectly fine. I know I'm mentally, physically prepared. I've been dreaming of days like this since I was young. As a regular amateur, I always wanted the spotlight. I've always wanted people watching me. I've always loved pressure, and I feel like I shine better under those lights, and I feel like with the pressure, I will be better. So I just take one, like I was saying, I'll just take one day at a time, and when February 21st comes, the world will see who Foster Falcon is.
So talk to me about the relationship and the dynamic between you and your father. We've seen a lot of father-son relationships in boxing. Most recently, Danny Garcia and Angel Garcia just performed Saturday night. How's the relationship with your father as a trainer opposed to as him being your father? And does that ever conflict? Because sometimes we interview guys where it's like, yeah, sometimes my dad wants to be my dad instead of my coach.
Mm-hmm. My father has his moments. We have our moments, like every other father, son, trainer. But for the most part, me and my father are doing great, man. We've been training since the amateurs. We've been together since the amateurs. My whole entire boxing career. And we clash heads because I have one thought, he has another. But always at the end, ultimately, we always come together, make one form plan, and then we're just the dynamic duo right there. So me and my father throughout my career, we've just been doing great, man. Just getting better one fight at a time, one spar session at a time, one training session at a time, and just looking to put on a great performance each and every single time. We have one mind. That guy's a great guy. Great man.
So talk to me. Where is camp being held at?
At Jones Boxing Gym in New York City, the Bronx. I was born and raised there.
And who did you bring in for sparring for this camp, or are you just using the locals in your gym?
Not only in my gym, I've brought a lot of top amateur fighters who's been to nationals, a lot of national fighters, a lot of just different looks on different people. You know what I'm saying? I like different styles because you never know what you're going into in fights. So you can see one thing on a fighter and then he'll come into the fight and fight a different way. Me personally, I don't watch fighters. I feel like studying my fighters is not my thing because I could just study him. He can come in different. So I find a bunch of different sparring. I like people who can come forward because I can slug, I can box, I can do anything. So I just get a bunch of fighters who just do different things, and I just perform that way.
So are you a fan?
Bunch of different sponsors.
I was gonna say, are you a fan of boxing? Do you watch it regularly? Or...
Oh, most definitely. I watch boxing all the time. I'm a student of the game, man.
So who's one of your favorite fighters, or some of your favorite fighters?
See, look, I get asked this question a lot, and I feel like I don't have a favorite fighter, but I have plenty of fighters that will make one favorite fighter, if you understand what I mean. Basically saying, like, I can take a bunch of fighters and put them I'll take certain things from them, and I can make one fighter out of that, and that's my favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? So I would choose, like, Roy Jones Jr. for his just for his flashiness and, like, how outgoing he is when he fights. I'll take also Bernard Hopkins for the same reason. I'll take Pernell Whitaker for his head movement and footwork. along with Lomachenko. Floyd Mayweather for his defense. Who else? I'll take Sugar Ray Leonard. I like his punching output and the way he puts his punches together. Hector Camacho. Who else? That's big. And Canelo. He's one of my favorite fighters right now as well. He's just an all-around fighter. I like the way he walks his opponents down and just stalks them the whole time.
Has your father taken you to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I've been to Puerto Rico to meet his family, and I sparred over there a couple times in Ponce.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. Did you get some work over there with those left hook artists, man? Puerto Rico, you guys are known, or half of you
For the left hook.
Yeah, for the left hook, right? Like, so I wanted to know, and I
Most
seen
definitely.
some of
I
your
got over there.
footage, and I seen some of your footage, and I see that you have been working on and developing the left hook yourself. So tell me about it.
I went to Puerto Rico and I sparred in Ponce. I don't recall what the gym was called, but over there they had some excellent work out there. As a matter of fact, they had a guy. I've sparred plenty of fighters over there, and there was this one guy that I sparred, and I ended up dropping him in the second round with a right hook instead of a left hook, which is kind of weird because Puerto Ricans have the left hook. But over there, I feel like Puerto Ricans are more like stand-up fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like they have great all-around fighters. They have great. I feel like they have great punching power over there, and they have their own type of style away from the Bronx and the way people fight from Philly or the Bronx or just Dominican Republic in different places. They just fight different, you know. So in Puerto Rico, they have a lot of power over there. They have a lot of and there's a lot of southpaws in Puerto Rico too. You know that?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
There's a lot of southpaws over there. Great southpaws.
So listen,
I fight both. I can fight off the orthodox stance and the southpaw stance.
Oh, so you switched during the fight, or
depending on what's going on. See, now, if I have to give a guy a different look for some reason because something in my orthodoxy isn't working because he's used to fighting that way, or he's a pressure fighter, during pressure I'll switch from stance. I'll switch coming to you. Let's say if you're trying to move on a left side, so if you're moving to your left or your right from an orthodox stance, I'll switch to a southpaw stance just to cut distance faster and just quickly, change positioning so I don't have to do so much as an orthodox or just to pivot, just to readjust. So just to be on you as a pressure fighter, I would move from southpaw to orthodox or from the orthodox to southpaw.
All right, so today's topic on our daily morning show, we're discussing Timothy Bradley's thoughts. He's basically is under the impression that after Deontay Wilder hit Fury with that right hand, Fury won't be the same. He actually referenced Tito Trinidad and said he was the same. Like he would hit people and then they wouldn't be the same in their career anymore. Do you believe that Fury lost something or won't be the same due to that right hand of Wilder? And what do you think of that rematch?
I think the rematch is something good because the last fight, everybody was indecisive. I feel like, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like Deontay Wilder lost that fight. My opinion only because besides that knockdown at the end, which I honestly did not think Tyson Fury was going to get up from, but I feel like Deontay Wilder was just getting outpunched during the whole fight. And Tyson Fury is a heavyweight that likes to move a lot. He has great head movement as a heavyweight, so I feel like I just feel like he put his punches together that fight. So I feel like the outcome should have went his way, but since it didn't, I understand about the draw as well because he also did knock down, he also did knock down Tyson Fury. So honestly, it could have went either way, honestly. So I'm indecisive about that fight. But I would say about changing the fighters, I would say that not all fighters are the same. You know what I'm saying? Some fighters can just take a punch, take a drop, and get back up or fight another day and just be better, actually, because it makes them a better person and they learn from it. And some fighters just aren't for it, if you know what I'm saying. Like, if they get hit or they get dropped, that just completely, takes away their confidence and they just never be the same again. Every time they get in there, they just have flashbacks of that fight. So I feel like Tyson Fury is one of those fighters where he's a very confident fighter. He speaks confident of himself. and I feel like he speaks his confidence into his performances. So I don't think that's going to change him come this fight.
All right.
No.
The live chat wants me to remind you that he knocked him down twice, not just once. So what other fights are you
Yeah, I
looking?
think it was in the 4th round, right?
Nah, 9th and 12th. What other
fourth?
fights? No, 9th,
Oh, 9th and 12th. Okay.
Yeah, 9th and 12th. What other fights are you looking forward to as a boxing fan? Actually, because you're half Dominican, what did you think of Jason Rosario versus Julian Williams?
That fight was very surprising, honestly. I thought Williams was going to win. I'm a fan of Williams. Williams is a great fighter. I never heard of Jason Rosario, so when he fought that fight and the way he fought it, I was just impressed. Honestly, me and my father sat down in the room. We were just like, wow, we honestly thought that Williams was going to win that fight, and the outcome was just ridiculous. Honestly, that surprised me. It's like crazy. It surprised my father as well. He's a great fighter. I like the way he was just stalking him and walking him down. That guy can take a punch, because Williams did hit him with some shots and that he should not be coming forward from, and he just kept coming forward. So that fight was just a shocker.
It was, man. It was. Well, listen, Ofacio Falcon Jr., I want to thank you, obviously, for coming on the show and answering our questions, man. Hopefully we can get you back on either closer to... What is the fight date again? February
21st.
21st. Yeah, that's about a month away, man. We could definitely try and squeeze you back in as you get closer to the fight and see how you're feeling. Also, when you get that big win, we want to get you back on as well, man. We want to thank you, obviously, for coming on the show. Give out your social media. I know you have a YouTube channel and an Instagram. Let these guys know where they can follow you and, stay up to date on your career.
All right, man. I just want to thank you for the opportunity. I want to thank my management for just putting me through putting me in such a great position. And my social media and Facebook, Instagram, and my YouTube channel is Ofacio Falcon Jr. I did make a Twitter. It's also called Ofacio Falcon Jr., so you can follow me on that. And yeah, just guys, follow me on my journey as a professional fighter, and just look out for me, man. I'm coming.
All right, Mr. Falcon Jr., man, we appreciate your time, and we can't wait to get you back on. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Ofacio Falcon Jr. Made his pro debut. Interesting that he's being maneuvered the way that he's being maneuvered. Obviously, he has aspirations to be with Top Rank. Second fight going to be on a Top Rank card. And his last fight was supposed to be on Tank's card. That was actually news to me. So very, very interesting. We're going to get back out to the callers. We got another guest coming on in about 10 minutes. Melissa Hernandez is the, very heavily rumored opponent scheduled to face Michaela Mayer next. And we'll be having her on the show and ask her some questions as well. She seems to be possibly Michaela Mayer's toughest test. We'll ask her if she feels she'll be Michaela Mayer's toughest test. And we'll go from there. But we're going to get back out to the callers. You know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. We can take a few calls. As I said, next guest not till about 10:10. So we're going out to California's own CYP. Buenos dias.
Yo, what up?
Morning.
Yeah, man, first I want to give a shout out to T Plums. He's supposed to be in Cali today. Hit me up. He wanted to come see the gym. He's supposed to be coming about 11, 12 o'clock. So that's what's up. I appreciate that. Anybody who want to come check the gym out, get you a little sparring session in, whatever you want to do. You can get a lift session, whatever you want to do. Everybody get a free visit, get a free workout with the king. I got you. But shout out to him coming today. Secondly, I don't mind what Timothy Bradley said or Max Kellerman. I mean, shit, they got to pump the fight. There's always people who are cool with the comeback, and there's people who are cool with the domination. It's like the Rocky movie, right? The Rocky movie, everybody loved Rocky, but there were some people who loved Ivan Drago and Clubber Lang. Some people loved them too, but a lot of people love Rocky. So I get where the Tyson Fury love comes from. But me, all I'm predicting is pain. So I ain't fucking with no Rocky. I don't even like Rocky, as a matter of fact. I think he's full of shit. I think he shouldn't even have a statue. The fuck he got a statue of? He ain't even a real boxer. But hey, that's me, in my opinion. But he still got the statue, don't he? So it's all good. But
CYP, we lost you.
embarrasses your ass, and you become a goddamn meme. Stop the bullshit. CYP out.
All right. Let's go out to.
You know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all.
I'm a gorilla, I'm a dog. I'm a dog, I'm a gorilla.
The smartest thing you can do is to stay away from terrorists.
It can't be the boogeyman if I'm chasing. What you want to bet on? You bet 100,000 on that. Let's bet $1 million. Easy. Let's bet $1 million.
J Matt.
Yo, can y'all hear me? Hello.
We hear you now.
Yo. Okay. First off, R.P. Kobe Bryant, and his daughter, that definitely hit home. They also had a teammate that lost both her parents. On that, I'm heavy in AAU ball. I could have easily been.
J Mac, man, we losing. Looks like you in a bad service area. We will try and come back to you to give you another try and a better, coverage. Pat in Beantown. Pat just listening, going once, twice. Okay. See what we got here. Well, we got a lot of calls on Blog Talk, but I don't know if you guys know you haven't pressed 1. A few of our regulars too. So we got about 6 minutes before we get Melissa Hernandez on, and we will ask her a few questions. Obviously, like I said, she's gonna be, highly probable she'll be facing Michaela Mayer next. And, I know she's knee deep in training, so she'll be fighting someone. But this is going to be an interesting interview, man, for you hardcore boxing fans. I know even you don't know her, but once we piece all these dots together, you'll be surprised what we learned from Melissa. So I think it's going to be an interesting fight. And remember, this is what I said when I got wind of the Alejandra Jimenez and Dazn Cruz fight. I said, guys, I think this is going to be an interesting fight. A lot of shit happening. And yes, this one isn't like that. There's no speculation circling around Melissa or Michaela Mayer. But I think that this is going to be an interesting one because I believe that, she may be Michaela Mayer's toughest opponent till date. I could be wrong, but we'll ask Melissa herself. Does she feel that way? And like I said, I believe it's going to be a pretty interesting interview. Steve, I know you were just listening earlier. You got anything for me? Buying me some time? I'm pulling you in. Coach is pulling you in, all right? We got 4 more minutes before Melissa. And, we need to talk some boxing in the meantime. Trey, are you available? Okay, Steve is there. What's up, Steve?
Yeah, I'm just going to listen today.
All right, champ. Wanted to make sure I gave you your ringer status. Trey, are you just listening as well?
Back to me later.
All right. Well, you know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. J-Mac, I see you jump back on. Let's see how you sound.
How it sound?
Way better.
Okay, I get this out. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant and his daughter. That definitely hit home yesterday. Our older team was out there at that tournament. They had to cancel it. It just brought light to a lot of the dads, especially the great and legend he was in the game. But his afterlife, as far as what he was doing with his daughters, AAU was real, real big. Was looking forward to that stage, but like I said, man, rest in peace to the family. Also, they had another teammate. Both her parents was on the helicopter, and they passed right along with their kid. So they went down, I'm sure, doing something they was passionate about. As far as what happened in the sport yesterday, I don't have no. I'm not big on none of the fights. I would argue the 7 and 30 just is more AJ ducking tactics. If this is not clear as day that this dude don't want this fight, man, and they just always gonna move the goalpost, man, it's clear. I don't get how people don't see what's going on in this sport. That's my call.
J Mac totally didn't talk about today's topic. He spoke about yesterday's show. I hear you, champ. So yeah, man, we got about 2 more minutes before we get our next guest, Melissa Hernandez. If you want to look her up, do so. We're going out to Colorado. Looking like Stone Bone jumping on the line. What's up, Stone Bone?
What up with it, Nestor? Good morning. Good morning. Oh yeah, man. I was just looking at Box Rate too. Is this the same Hernandez that's got like 20? Was it 20 something? 23-7? All like 23 fights?
Yeah. She's Puerto Rican?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, Puerto Rican. Oh yeah, this look like it might be a dog fight, man. Like she looked like she coming to paint. Michaela's what, 12-0? So this girl got 30 fights versus 12 fights. I mean, I'm a Michaela fan. She part of the team out here in Colorado. She stick to the script. She come to all of the guys' fights. She there for Shakur and Bud Strong, and they all still train. She trained by Coach K, so she got a good pedigree. She spars. Guys down here too. So she be sparring Shakur and stuff like that. So she got the pedigree to deal with it. But I'm looking at her. She's smaller. She's what, 5? Yeah, so she gonna be able to.
She only 5'2". But remember that last girl, Alejandra Zamora Soledad, gave Michaela Mayer a lot of problems being short.
That's what I'm saying. I think she can, because Michaela. I was just talking to my girl about this. Michaela is like 5'9", damn near 5'10". She just as tall as the guys she be sparring. So those little women who can get inside, you got a better chance to. If she can slip that jab. She perfect the jab. So if she can slip that jab and try to get on the inside. By her being so tall, Michaela is thin, so maybe some body work could do a little harm to her. I want to see that. I think it's gonna be the type of test she need before she thinks she ready for any kind of title shot.
Agreed. Now, look, I could be putting a lot of stock into the little bit of info that I know that I'm trying to wait for the interview to leak it. But I still think it means something, and we'll find out. But there's also some other stuff, that you'll find out. But I'm actually connecting them, man. So give me 1 second, guys, and I'll be right back with you.
There's only one Deontay Wilder.
All right, so I definitely just got her voicemail, and that was interesting. Her voicemail is just like her yelling, saying, "Leave a message." Okay, let's go. Are we still on? Let's go to CYP Boomerang. Talk to me. All right. Here she goes. Hold on 1 second. Hello, Melissa. Hi, I'm gonna. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we have on the line Melissa Hernandez. How are you, Miss Hernandez? Good morning. Happy New Year. And thank you for coming on the show and talking some boxing with us. How are you?
I'm all right. Training hard. That's it.
All right, all right. So I want you, if you can, to educate, I guess, my listeners on exactly who you are. When we think of Puerto Rican women in boxing, obviously our mind points to Amanda Serrano, but you have a lot of accolades. You won 7 world titles in 4 divisions, if I'm
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So can you just give us
Yep.
a little bit of
I was.
background on yourself? Because I've been telling my listeners that I believe that if the rumors are true and this fight with you and Michaela Mayer happens, because I know that there's no contracts as of yet, according to my sources, but hopefully those contracts get signed, this fight happens, and I believe that you might be her toughest opponent till date. So I want to ask you, obviously, do you believe that? And can you give us a little bit of background on you to educate our listeners?
All right. So just to clarify, the rumors, the contracts have been signed. They've been signed for a week now, so it's a go. If not, I wouldn't be training. I'm not that person. All right. So, and am I Michaela's toughest fight? Yeah, she hasn't fought anybody. To my understanding, she fought Nydia Feliciano, who's also another fellow New Yorker Puerto Rican. Me and Nydia, we're cool, but we're totally different fighters. Now the background on me is I was the first one to do it of all the Puerto Rican females. When people think about Puerto Rican fighters, it should be me, Ada Velez, and Belinda Lara Cuente that come up to people's heads. But I see how Amanda, she's the new breed. So I was a Golden Glove champion twice in New York. I was one of the top amateurs, and I was in women's boxing when it was kind of like the bastard, child to regular boxing. It was in between the Christy Martin and the now. So then back then, that's when I was ruling it, maybe about 10 years ago now. And then I decided to retire because there was nobody really left to fight and there was no money. And now the money's there now, so now I'm back just to prove that I can do it.
And this is what I've been keeping a secret from my listeners because I wanted to have you on before I said it. And you retired, you were out of the ring 3 years, and you came back and gave Selena Barrios her first loss. She is the sister of Mario Barrios, someone who is a big friend of the show. He's been on here numerous times. Selena's been on here. Their father's been on here. And you were the one that gave her first loss off of 3 years inactivity. I was like, whoa, I got to talk to this girl.
All right. So I don't have nothing against Selena Barrios. I didn't know who she was, right? All I knew is that she was this little baby 5-0 fighter that people were making us think about, and I respect every single female fighter. We all put in the hard work, but she's not me. These new people must have forgot who I was. I changed the game, and I was, jumping weight classes and doing all this stuff for years. So when I fought her, I really didn't think that it was that much of a hard fight. It was a great comeback fight for me, and I took it off fluke. It wasn't that I was trying to make a statement. I had no clue who she was when she took it. It wasn't until the weigh-in that I saw that she was Mario Brother's sister, and I was like, okay, great. She's not her brother. I'm not fighting her brother. I'm fighting her. And that's how that went down. I saw the last fight where she won. She stopped somebody, and keep moving forward. But now we're on to the next page of stuff.
I mean, I think that was an impressive win. And even better that you didn't even have any clue who she was. But now you know who Michaela Mayer is, obviously. So what do you think you do better? Because I think you're coming in at a disadvantage. I know you're not supposed to talk age with women, but you're pushing my age, and you're shorter. You're 5'2". She's like 5'10", 11.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll be 40 next Tuesday. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. But, yeah, I'm coming in as a disadvantage also. I'm the B side as well. Because everybody likes Michaela Mayer, whatever. I don't know who she was. I didn't know who she was either until I started sparring with Clarissa Shields. I found out she was part of the Olympic team, this, that, and the third. Again, big ups to her. But this is a whole new ballgame. This isn't the amateurs. you're 5'10", whatever, however tall you are, I've always been the short person. So, it's just about who shows up to fight that night. Do I think she's a walkover fight? Hell no. I think she's going to come out there and try to prove a point just like Barrios did. I think they're all trying to get, that W next to my name. And, I know she's going to be in the best condition she could be in, as I am. And, the disadvantage always works in my favor.
How so?
I've always been the underdog, so it means I have to fight harder. Even when I was world champion, I always came in as the B side, and I always overcame everything. Because remember, when I started in the amateurs in New York, I came out of nowhere, and I started, building the blocks, and no one knew who I was. And I started doing what I'm doing now, which is just beating all the tough girls. When I was coming up, there was no open class and novice for women. Like my first fight was Jill Emery, and she in the Garden when I'm fighting Michaela. And I went and I did lose in that first fight, but that's what built my whole statue, because I went in there with anybody, didn't care, how many wins you had or whatever. I just like to fight.
I hear it. So you got the heavy New York accent, but you relocated to Florida, or are you in Florida and Miami only for training camp?
Well, I relocated to South Beach, and I'm a New York. I'm a Bronxanite in and out. You can never take the Bronx away from me. So when it comes to that in the fight, I think Michaela's going to notice that I am the New Yorker here, and I'm just going to give her a Bronx beatdown. That's just how we do.
Now, did you watch her last fight with Alejandra Soledad Zamora?
Yeah, that's probably the first fight I ever saw with her. As I watched it, and I thought the little girl was giving her the chicken fixin'.
Mm-hmm.
It exposed a lot of her. And I hope that she goes and they watch that tape over and over and not look over what she does right, but look over what she does wrong. Because I'm also a coach. So I'm watching for what mistakes you make. I don't care about her straight right hand and her hook. Everybody has a straight right hand and a hook. I'm looking for the things you couldn't get over on the little girl she just fought.
Yeah, I seen that you train people in South Beach. We will get to that. I'm still kind of in fight mode. So again, we spoke about disadvantages, and we're kind of talking about you training. So I want to assume that because you're out there training these people in your gym, I've watched footage of the way you train. You're in athletic gear, so I want to assume you're staying in shape. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is obviously Michaela's in Colorado. She's training with Kay Kimura. They're using the Olympic facility. She's always in high altitude training, and she's coming off of a fight. You are inactive. You got the win over Selena, but that was last year in April, so you haven't fought since April. It'll be 11 months when this fight takes place. And, I'm worried. I want you to be tip-top shape.
Right. Well, one thing that's never been, an issue for me is me getting in shape for a fight when I'm focused. I get that she has, again, all the advantages because I love training in Colorado as well. But, I'm a grown-up. I have to work. I don't get I don't get those advantages that the new girls have with the sponsorship, all this and that. I'm a gritty old-school fighter, which means I have a full-time job. And then I also box. But yeah, am I going to be in the best shape? Hell yeah. And I'm proving it by coming in at this fight at 130. I didn't want to campaign anymore at 130. I wanted to move up in weight classes. I wanted to do 47 and 40. But it turns out being that, the only fight that came in 11 months was this one. Having to fight her. Is it a fight of choice? No, she wasn't a fight of choice. It's just I had to take because of the 11-month layoff. So we're going to do what we have to do.
Damn, I ain't know it was going to be 130.
Yeah, we there, though. We in there.
How much time did you have to get ready to get to 130? Because your last fight is basically 140.
Right.
And then 6 months off.
Right, I'll be 130 when it comes time to fight. I'm not one of these, I'm not a new jack. I don't have to be in the gym 24/7. This is my playground. I've been doing this almost 20 years now. It's like I'm a vet at this, and I'm taking her with all the utmost, seriousness. And at the end of the day, we're gonna perform. I don't see Michaela beating me, But I know she's gonna go out there and do it. But I'm gonna be in shape. We're gonna pull out all the stops and do everything we need to do.
Now, when's the last time you made 130? Because I'm looking at your box rec and it's looking like 2011.
Yeah, that's why I'm making statements. It doesn't matter. Like I was world champion once at 122. I went all the way up to 35 to fight. At my age, it's not that easy to do. Fluctuate between the weights. But I'm showing that I can still do it and be strong at it. This is not my battle's not with the scale. My battle's with Michaela. So to me, bringing up the weight, that's old news. We'll be there and we'll be strong at 130.
All right. Well, we know she's sparring men. We know she's sparring Shakur Stevens. She's sparring, Terrence Crawford when she gets the opportunity. Who is the Hurricane Shark getting in there with? Who's getting you prepared?
I'm getting that smoke from anybody that I can. Just because you win there with those big names doesn't mean that you're getting that big name work. They're working with you. And every time a woman brings up that she spars with men, it makes me laugh because we all spar with men. It's very rare that you get a camp that has women in it. And we haven't had a female camp since we were like the posse we had in Gleason's with Ronica Jeffrey, with Heather Hardy, with, Emery Saccarato. That used to be back in the day with us. But we all spar with dudes. Who's the only person getting me ready is myself, me and my coach. I don't got to go out there and shout out any names. She just needs to worry about me, not my sparring partners.
All right. Well, you saying all the right things. I'll tell you that. Every time I throw a curveball at you, you definitely know how to hit it out the park. What about power, though? She's got 5 knockouts, 12 fights. It's obviously because of the ratio of fights that she has. She has a slightly higher knockout ratio, but you've been in more fights. Do you think that you will have the upper hand on at least the power?
When it comes to the power, she never fought nobody. Once again, I'm not taking anything away, but you did it. You fought tomato cans. Let's keep it 100. I fought all the big girls in different weight classes, being as small as I am. Plus, let's keep it 100. We only fight 2-minute rounds. It's hard to get a knockout with 2-minute rounds. You can't set it up. You got to fight like you're still in the amateurs. You got to go out there and throw a million punches. Her power, let's see what happens after she shoots that first right hand. If she doesn't knock me on my ass, then we're gonna have a fight. I've always said that. You better put a statement on, make me afraid of you.
Now she punches in combinations. That's what we seen in the Zamora fight. Like she definitely lets the 1, 2, 3 go. It's like you said, she loves that right hand left hook, but I think that she sets it up off the jab. But I believe it's her go-to combination punch. Is that something you picked up on? Do you believe that? And is there anything that you see that she does that you feel you can capitalize off?
I mean, I'm trying to, replay her fights in my head, but the truth about the whole thing is everybody changes when that person's in the fight. So I can't sit here and see something and be like, oh, I'm going to do this when she does that, because I don't know if she's going to do that with me. We have the first couple of rounds to feel her out, see what she's coming with, who knows what she's working out in the gym. The great thing about me being a fighter is that I adjust. You could come at me with anything. I have plan A, B, and C. I'm a person that's been able to always, pick up to what you're doing in the ring. Hence why I have the wins against the people that I do. My losses have always been, against notable people as well. So to me, let's just see what happens after round 1, round 2. I mean, we got 10 rounds. I think she made a mistake picking me up for 10 rounds.
Yeah, I see that you went 8 rounds with Barrios.
Yeah, and I didn't wake up until like round 6.
Well, look, those are all my questions. I'm happy to get you on. I definitely want to get you on again once they announce this. Actually, do you think that this is you obviously on the phone with this energy. Do you think that you'll have this energy in the press conference with her, or how would that play out? Are you looking for a one and done, or are you looking to maybe get a new contract here and continue your career now that, like you said, when you were fighting, women's boxing wasn't paying. Now they're paying. Because if you're going to make 130, I mean, there's Amanda Serrano's out there and there's Katie Taylor's out there where the big money is.
Right. Well, when I came back, I didn't come back for all this. People got really, they got electrified watching the Barrios fight, and it kind of woke me up as well. I was like, oh, I think I can still do this, because she was a young whippersnapper. And now I'm just like, okay, let's do it. Now, if I beat Michaela, which I think I will, yeah, why not bring on the other people? Why not bring on the Katie Taylors? I respect Katie Taylor with everything, every fiber of my being. Even when she was still amateur, I was like, that's a girl that I would love to go fight. And about my energy, this is my energy. I'm from the Bronx. This is how we get down. I'm not cocky. It's not none of that. I just believe in myself and what my abilities are. I've been doing this a long, long time now, and when we get to the press conference, it's going to be worse because I'm going to be super hype on what we're going to do. And I'm just out there trying to get my name back out there and, just show that I am the best. I am women's boxing.
Well, all right. I want to thank you, obviously, for coming on. We definitely want to get you back on, Melissa. And if you have any social media that you want to give out for anybody who isn't following you to do so, please do that now. And thank you again for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. And I would love to be back on. And if you want to look me up and stuff, I'm on Instagram at Hurricane Shark. And thank you guys so much.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Melissa Hernandez, former WBC champ. She actually held a lot of titles. Like I said, 7 world titles in 4 divisions. So she's out here doing her thing. I was looking at her box like wrong. All this time I thought she was 33, and she is going to be 40. But that's still okay because I forgot that question. I was going to ask her, does she think women boxing years are the same as men, which I don't, right? They take less punishment. They do less rounds. She has, the fights in per year are normally less. So maybe she's not a old 40 is what I'm hoping. Not that I want Michaela to lose, because I have no horse in this race, but I want a good fight. And the last girl Michaela fought, she was a little bit short. And this one is too, but that one was underskilled. This one has some pedigree. It's just she's older. You know what I mean? That one was small, underskilled, and young. This one is older. But I'm like I said, to come off a 3-year layoff and do Selena Barrios the way she did, because I remember that fight. I just ain't had no clue it was Melissa. And yeah, man, listen, Barrios bounced back after that with one fight, but bro, she derailed her. The Aztecan queen. So yeah, man, shout out to Melissa. Shout out to Michaela Mayer taking this fight. I mean, she definitely ripped her opponents. She said she didn't fight anybody. She's like, who has she fought? And that's the thing. I don't know none of these women, man. I'm doing the most research I can, man. Trying. Look, she gave respect to Nydia Feliciano. Melissa did. But looking at Nydia Feliciano's record, she's 9-8-3. So it's like you never know who is good, right? Because look, Alicia Bumgarner just beat that girl, Nydia Feliciano, for vacant IBF or vacant WBC International. So that's what I'm saying. Oh, and Michaela Mayer beat her too. Okay, there you go. Oh, that's actually what Melissa said. But damn, she beat Shelly Vincent too? Or nope, she lost to Shelly Vincent. Damn, so Nydia kind of loses to, and she lost to Heather Hardy. Okay, so she basically lost to all the names. She lost to Bumgarner, Michaela Mayer, and Vincent and Hardy, and well, there you go. She lost to Vincent twice. But again, it's women's boxing, so they tend to fight each other multiple times. We're gonna go out to New Orleans. JT, what up?
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment. Come on. That was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. We're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'll kill this mother. Why do you have to talk like that?
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
Good morning. What's up, Ness?
What up, champ?
Just got on. What was the topic of the show?
We talked about Timothy Bradley and his thoughts. He believes that Fury won't be the same because he got hit with that right hand, and that Wilder ruins people's careers with that right hand, similar to Tito Trinidad.
Okay, well I could rebut off that. I don't know. I think he's gonna be more cautious because he's been knocked down and hurt with it. But well, I still got Wilder winning by knockout, and I think he's gonna box the same way that he boxed last time. I don't think he'll go in there and come in there aggressive, talking about knocking Wilder out this time. I think he's just saying that to promote the fight. But yeah, he's gonna be real cautious of that power. So I mean, I just expect to see another fight. I just hope Wilder go in there and get him out there quick. I mean earlier, make it a early night for him.
All right, JT, man, thanks for calling in. Let's see what we got. Looking like CYP wrapping us up.
Yeah. Great interview. Like I said, man, you been hitting 2020 like a monster. I see you out here working. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, whoever gave Mike that bad review, it's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get haters, you're doing a good job because they got to pay attention to you to realize if you're doing a good job or not. So it's all good. PC Jacob, man, me and you, look, you say we do all this AJ bashing, but we can't take it when you bash Wilder. My guy, we got an after show where all we do is talk boxing. You can talk about whatever you want. We don't run from no AJ talking or Wilder hate. My guy, you the one who's scared. All you do is type. We invite you, come on here. Because if this show was another 2 hours, you still be in there typing. Our show could be 30 minutes and you'll run. We own you, my man. And T Plums, what up, baby? I'm going to see you later. CYP out.
Peace. T Plums in Florida, man. Shout out to Connecting. That's what's up. Want to thank everybody that tuned in. Want to thank everybody that hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to share the show. It helps with the visibility of the show. Helps us grow. Helps us continue to get these interviews, man. Thank you to CYP for the kind words. Definitely 2020, man. We're just going to try and push to have as many interviews as possible and grow the show, man. Just grow the show, man. Awareness for the sport and awareness for the podcast so that more people know about it. If you haven't already hit the thumbs up button, do so. Like I said, it does help with the visibility. Catch me on the next one this evening, 7 p.m. We are having another show. On that show, we are going to have a substantial amount of guests. We will have Keith Hunter. Keith Hunter is the brother of Michael Hunter, the heavyweight, and Keith is going to be taking on undefeated Malik Hawkins, and Keith Hunter is undefeated. We'll have him on at 7:15. Then we'll have Daniel Roman on at 7:30. He's fighting this weekend, and he is unified the WBA and the IBF. We'll also be having Chris Colbert, the new WBA interim champion, and we'll be having Rajan Chance, a heavily decorated amateur out of New Jersey, trains out of my gym and is going to be making his pro debut. He was supposed to be on the Danny Garcia card, and that didn't happen. So I'll let him tell you what card he's going to be on, but another big card. I think it's the February 8th in Biloxi, but I didn't want to say that because I'm not sure. And then, whatever. Catch us on the next one, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. West Coast, and 6 p.m. Central Time. Mountain people, I guess that's 5 o'clock for you. Peace.